I think that everyone here must have heard about Solo Leveling and Solo Leveling Season 2. I'm not gonna tell you again where to watch Solo Leveling because I already made a video in my channel about other animes that are like Solo Leveling if you are interested in watching it. But I have to talk about it this time because it's so amazing. It's so freaking amazing. It's one of my easily top 3 anime for this winter 2025, although it's extremely packed season. The opening is made by the Japanese Lisa, who made a bunch of other popular, amazing anime openings and songs and singles. Like, probably you know her from the Demon Slayer or from the Sword Art Online, whichever kind of opening you have listened to before. And with the K-pop combination with Felix from Stray Kids. If you don't know Stray Kids, please go check them, because I'm a hardcore K-pop fan and Stray Kids is like my #1, so you need to know who's Felix from Stray Kids. Like, I know a lot of people who don't even know that much about K-pop, but they know just Felix himself because of his special looks and origins and everything. Let me move on from this point. So it was offered, by the way, a 5-season anime and also 1 movie after this. So the moment I read this piece of news, I was like, I'm not reading the webtoon. I'm not spending time on it. I'm gonna be waiting for every single season as it comes and watch it eventually. The battles and fight scenes animation are just breathtaking as usual. The story is centered around one character, so you shouldn't really expect much development for now around the side characters. It's mostly like one character driven plot type of story. I heard a little bit of spoilers where people were saying like, okay, they're gonna explore a bit about the origins of the powers and the towers and I don't know, like all kinds of things. So it's not gonna stop at Zangyou himself. I'm looking forward to that. I mean, if they continue just with hyping Zangyou, I'm okay with it. Totally okay with it. And one thing I found funny online is this. If you know the guy who does always zero budget cosplays, he did a couple of cosplays for Zangyou in an extremely funny way. I would recommend you check them out. Again, I would recommend going to the video I created a while ago with my old model. And you know, if you love Solo Leveling, maybe you want to try check other Korean animation which are really good. Do you like Spy Family? Do you like Gintama? If you do, then you should try Sakamoto Days. Yahoo minasan, this is Yuki, your realist simulation view elf, and akimeshite ondito. And this is a new recommendation for the winter 2025 animes, and I would like to start with this one, Sakamoto Days. So basically, Sakamoto Days has very similar vibes to both shows I mentioned before. It has almost the same team combo as Gintama, if I may say so. You have this super skilled guy who's sort of hiding his background. He wanted to detach himself from his past. The disciple who's so mesmerized by him and following him around want to learn from him. And the Chinese girl. Except there is a slight difference where in Gintama, the Chinese girl is the one who's an alien, while in Sakamoto Days, it's more like the disciple guy who's an expert. The main character is, again, a super skilled guy with complicated past, trying to prioritize his family, peace, and harmony. It has a good opening song, like really one of the bangers for this season. Feels sort of unpredictable for a non-manga reader. Has the same voice actor as Sakata Gentoki, the main protagonist as Gintama, and also the mangaka of Gintama who loves parodies, made parody illustrations for call it Sakata Days instead of Sakamoto Days. Fighting style is inspired by John Wick movies, which make it a little bit unique compared to usual shonen anime fights, and I really love that. Absolutely. So what do you think? You must have all heard about Zenchuu, a new MAPPA original animation. When they say original show, it means it doesn't have a manga, it doesn't have a light novel. Most likely it's just on the going. Maybe it has some sort of draft, sort of outline for the story, but you cannot get yourself spoiled by anybody else because everyone is as surprised as you every single episode. And the point here is that this new MAPPA original show was predicted to be a shonen or to be a fantasy. People were really surprised or shocked to find out it was an isekai. And personally, I didn't really care as much about the genre as the story itself. The power of the main character is every animator, every mangaka dream, because being able to create a plot in few seconds, which usually would take you like 3 days. That's mad. And I would say the first episode didn't really attract me as much in the beginning of it. Like, I was kind of skeptical. I was not sure I'm gonna keep it because it looked a bit typical. But what really kept me into the show is seeing the dynamic between this overworked animator, and she found herself in this world which, you know, is like a doomed shonen. Like, it's like tragedy. So you know the main characters are gonna either die or suffer great losses or gonna experience something extremely terrible. Of course, you cannot exactly go and spoil it to them because some events in the stories or people's lives are usually inevitable. So this is I would say, the most complicated part about it. Also, aside from her original power of drawing and having this monster out and saving the main characters. And aside from the dynamic of her relationship with the heroes, I found her interaction with the main hero as the most interesting one, because you realize you start moving from the distrusting to, okay, I trust this person, she seems kind of knows a bit of things, kind of reliable. The best recommendation ever here would be to watch the ending song. So As You Are or As You Like or something. But the ending song, I saw the full translation on YouTube and it just was dropped out a couple of days ago. And also, I like the animation. Animation is absolutely great value for whatever they have been overworked for. And I think here it's a bit like Freer. It gives me a bit the nostalgia. I'll leave it at this point. I'm not gonna spoil you any further. I hope you enjoy it as much as. Since Zenchuu is an original show, I think I'm allowed to make a bit of predictions here. Is that our protagonist, the main girl, she didn't really die. She had an allergy shock. And the allergy shock sort of sent her in a brief coma, or like sort of in the emergency room for a few hours. So I'm guessing that the fact that she got into this world, it's not definite. She's coming back probably to her own world. She's probably alive. And she's most likely just, you know, kind of having this kind of hallucination, or maybe dream, or maybe realistic dream, or maybe prophetic dream, whatever you want to call it, which will bring her back her joy and her motivation in order to create more original works and successful animation. Please keep your eyes on it. I hope that her prediction is correct. If you have other predictions, just let me know. So, another title that caught my attention for this season in particular is called Tasokare Hotel. You heard about it? Well, if not, it is a combination of mystery and detective style. It's pretty chill, and it sort of reminds me of Death Parade. Although if I had a scale of comparing them based on that meme called the Daniel and the Cooler Daniel, I would put Tasokare Hotel on Daniel and then put Death Parade on the Cooler Daniel scale. Not sorting out regrets before passing on to death, or figuring out life choices before going back to life. Like you are really confused in your life, you have some high anxiety, and so you somehow find out yourself in Tasokare Hotel. It has cozy vibes. It's partially focused on the hotel world, like the hospitality sector, I would say. And also serving their unusual few customers so they can move on or they can leave. This is one of the points of the story. Not to spoil you, not tell you much about the characters or the short stories there, but I think it's a fairly cozy plot and I find it relaxing. I'm very likely to finish it too. Yeah. Did you ever watch an American show called Doctor House? Or did you watch an anime called Beautiful Bones Sakurako's Investigation? If you know one of these two, then you are more than likely gonna enjoy Ameku MD Doctor Detective. Because this is medical anime detective. Slightly reminds me also of Apocalypse Diaries, because as you know, Mao, she sort of has this herbalist node and she investigates cases based on that. So if you are a fan of one of these three shows, you are likely to enjoy the eccentric Ameku Doctor, who's very random, has a habit of outsmarting detectives and the most senior doctors since it comes to mysterious illnesses or deaths. She's just right in before you can ever predict it. So she lives in this stone fairy-like one-bedroom house on top of the modern hospital, which is kind of really interesting. Why is she there? How did they allow her there? Well, so absolutely I'm all in. Also, the cases remind me so much strongly of Detective Conan case. I love how very weird facts connect together and suddenly you have a case and you're like, wow, that's mind-blowing. I would have never ever guessed it. So I mentioned already Solo Leveling, Sakamoto Days, and now moving on to my third best anime for the winter 2025. And it is called I May Be a Guild Receptionist, but I will solo any boss to clock out on time. For me, this show, the main character, Alina, is so relatable for any overworked office worker. The one that comes to your mind first is Nanami from JJK. Alina is so relatable and she's such a cute girl with crazy gorilla power using a huge hammer. It's sort of her power came suddenly from the diva, which is from the gods directly in her world. So she sort of has like superior version, more pure version of power. And it happened because she was extremely desperate. She prayed so hard and she probably was that day the most desperate person on the whole city, so her wish was granted. But it was granted in unexpected ways. Like she never asked it really for power to solo bosses. She just asked it to be able to clock out on time. When it came out, it's really funny. So yeah, on a side note, her cosplay, her character is so cute. It's probably one of my closet cosplay. Someday I want to do it. absolutely for fun, for myself. Not gonna post any pictures or anything. So when you start the show, you are usually thinking like she's hiding the fact that she has this power, she's working with the receptionist, and it's gonna be like this. She's gonna jump into different dungeons, different missions, destroy this monsters, go back to her life, enjoy her cool, nice life with small hiccups happening here and there. One of the major plot twists that happened on the first episode, actually, which I'm gonna say because it's just the first episode, is because she actually got discovered by somebody. She got discovered by somebody, and this person is not letting go. Is not giving up on her, not being a full-fledged adventurer and contributing with her power to the society, whatever. It sort of annoyed me. I was like, why not keep her as the mysterious guy who's killing monsters? Or why must it go that far? And of course, things didn't stop there. Her life got worse eventually. So I hope that you enjoy it. Ending is has cute dance in it. I love it. And also, absolutely, her expressions and the difference between her face expressions when she's doing her job or dealing with people to her thoughts. I'm just laughing hard because I can relate so badly to that. Did you ever encounter any anime that has an element of cultural enrichment? And by this I mean that you get into it and you feel like you are getting educated or taught about certain cultures, certain areas, certain country, certain habits of people in particular villages. Sometimes, in most cases in Japanese animation, it happens quite subtly. They would tell you the specialty food, they would tell you the festivals, they would tell you like why they celebrate certain shrines or certain mythological gods. So you absorb that information but unconsciously, but unless you focus on it, unless that's something you are personally interested in, we didn't really capture it. But there are other animation type where it's not happening subtly, it is openly. This is the goal of the anime. Educate you about this particular group or this village or this area. And you can get an extra comedy romance on this side, you can get a bit horror, you can get a bit of detective going on, but you are just basically learning about that area historically. And so the one I would like to mention today is called Okitsura Fell in Love with an Okinawan girl, but I just wish I know what she's saying. So there is the Tokyo guy who moved to Okinawa in his high school, and apparently there is this really energetic Genki girl who talked to him first time in his classroom, and he thinks she's really cute and she's really his type. But this girl in particular, she's using an accent or more like dialect called Shinaguchi dialect, which is mainly spoken by people who are over 70 in Okinawa. And because she was raised with her grandparents and around a lot of older people, then her dialect is heavily influenced by this particular dialect vocabulary, and it makes it crazily sometimes hard to distinguish or to understand even if you know Japanese very well. So the story, as you might have predicted, it's a romance comedy. There is a lot of moments where it's just they're translating phrases from this dialect or explaining why certain things might be misunderstood or might not be normal in Okinawa when they are normal in Tokyo, or maybe the opposite way. So it's really fun. I really love it. The animation is so beautiful, and you're gonna focus a little bit on the dynamic between the main character, which are Tsuruaki Nakamura, the main guy, and then you have Hina, who's the main Okinawa crush, and Higakana, who's like the translator, the friend, the interpreter, the girl who has like the second lead girl crush thing. And I absolutely prefer Kana, much more mature, she's much cuter. I don't know, I'm just a team Kana. You can fight me, but another title that caught my attention is called From Bureaucrat to Villainess, that has been reincarnated. Well, I think the title speaks for itself here, but this is a comedy anime, which is a parody for all Villainess reincarnation isekai. And the reason why I would call it a parody, because you can never ever imagine in your life as an isekai shoujo reader that there's gonna be behind that cute villainous elegant woman, a guy, a middle-aged guy called Ken Shinzaburo. It defies all of archetype classical characters' behavior of a villain. Why? Because this guy literally knows the game because his daughter used to play it, and his daughter is a big otome game fan. She always has it on the screen in the living room, and sometimes he passes by and he have a chat with her. How is the game going? How is the progress? And he himself he's a gamer. He collects a bunch of merch. I mean, he doesn't think it's bad. He didn't play the game himself, but tells him all the part of the plot where he was missing, and she tells him what she likes about the game, what is the goal, what are the difficulties, what she's trying to achieve at which point. And that's how he knows the game. He only knows the tropes of the villainess from the 70s and from the 80s anime, like not even from the modern one. So I find it really interesting that whenever he tries to act villainous or evil in order to match the character, because now he's in the body of that character, he comes off as a really doting parent. Even if his words sound strict, it doesn't sound that way to the other person at all. So I highly recommend this for everyone. Like, this is absolutely not a shoujo, this is absolutely not a romance anime, it is just a pure laughter and comedy, and it's one of the best things that have been out since a long while and to this genre. Like, so do you love golf? Are you a golf fan? Did you ever try golf? Is golf one of your hobbies? For me, none of this is true. I never hear about golf and like personal way. Like, I only tried it a couple of times during some cultural festival, but that's it. So this is a golf anime where there are cute high school girls trying to find something she can shine in, and somehow she gets into golf with help of two other girls in the community center in her area. And personally, I don't know much about golf, but the reason I'm trying to watch this anime is to learn about the rules of golf. Like, what is golf about? How do people play it? What do the players or the big fans usually think about it in their minds? And this is what I'm trying to learn from this show. I love personally how Minami Aoba, she's often using some sort of retro video games references to explain her reality and situations. I find that extremely cute, the way she speaks, and it's a bit like how I visualize life in terms of visual novel otome games. So I think these are two aspects that definitely should push you to watch this show. Do you love ice skating? Did you ever try it? How was the experience? If you did, or if one day you dream of trying it, maybe you can also watch Medalist. Alternatively, if you have already watched it before Gimban Kaleidoscope, that can be a good reference. The main message in Medalist, I feel like, is that it's never too late to keep doing something you are mesmerized in, even if everyone around you literally says it's too late for you to experience. I feel like that applies not only on the main girl who's 5th grader, but also even on her mentor who also experienced the same thing when he was much younger. It's about mentorship, it's about hard work, and all the challenges that happen to athletes at different stages of their life. The main characters are Inori Yuitsuka, who's the 5th grader, the girl who wants to do ice skating. She's really amazed by it. She sneaks secretly into the ice skating ring after bribing a guard there with some sweets or some in order to try to practice. And then we have our own main guy who's Akiraji Tsukasa. We call him Tsukasa. And Tsukasa is a really aspiring skater. He has like a long experience skating. He supported dance with somebody else, and you get some sort of recognition for it, of course, if you are really talented, if you can keep up. But I think Tsukasa's dream was not just to do the double with the dance, he wanted to shine himself as a skater one day. And instead of becoming like a professional skater and being allowed opportunities to compete and everything, he sort of got an offer to become a mentor, to become a teacher for ice skating for kids. And it comes at a very sensitive time of his life where either he accepts this offer or he's have to get away from skating for a while. So it was fairly hard choice for him, but at the same time, when he met Yuitsuka and he saw her passion, he decided that he has to definitely help her to overcome a bunch of fears and difficulties and hone her skills. Something I really appreciated about this show is in the opening. And the opening, you realize there is certain effort to diversify and include people in terms of choices of main opponent's character designs. So you notice there is maybe an Indian character, maybe there is a French character, so there is a little bit of variety of ethnicities, which should be the case for most of the sports, even for children, not only when they go international. So I believe there is no element in animation that is like for free or maybe accidental. It was a deliberate choice, and I really congratulate them for doing so. And I think we should support Medalist. It's family friendly show. I think I just watch it with anyone, with your little sibling. So enjoy. This video is going to be me just stating all the new second seasons that were out for the winter 2025. And to make it simple, I already mentioned it that Solo Leveling Season 2 is already out, and I already recommended to you the video from other shows which are like Solo Leveling on my channel. Now I would like to move on to Abukatri Diaries Season 2. It's going strong again with very amazing openings and ending songs. Again, very cryptic visuals. And you can check the summary for Abukatri Diaries for the first season in Winter 2024 Shoujo Anime Recommendation spoiler free. That's on my channel. Dr. Stone Season 5, or also called by some people Season 4 Part 1. You can find the summary on my 5 anime about science video. So if you check that video, you can learn about Dr. Stone. Their new season is very interesting because it's about them being in the sea, on the boat, and they are on the way from Japan to America. They have all sorts of allies. The science nation of Senku has grown up more than ever. Not gonna spoil you any further about it, but the opening is such banger. Like, it's one of my easily top 5 openings for this season. It has this jazz vibes, and the dance, you can almost put it on any English video and it still would fit very much fine. So I mean, when I'm watching the new opening of Dr. Stone, I cannot help but start clapping my hands on all the sides. For the 100 girlfriends who really love you, there is a season 2, it's out, and now we have 4 new love interests. The first new girlfriend was revealed, and she's the hungry girlfriend, and I'm really loving her. I'm really loving her. I can find the summary of this show on my video called Comedy Harem Anime Where No One Gets Rejected. And the new Toilet Bound Hanako season 2 is out finally after releasing all those filler episodes. You can find the summary on my video called 9 Yokai Spirits Demons Underrated Anime. And the final one that I absolutely have to mention is called Blue Exorcist The Blue Knight Saga. And if you have been a fan of Blue Exorcist since like 11 years ago, if you are so excited as me to the new seasons that have been coming out one after the other, hopefully they finish the whole manga this way, because that would make my soul rest in peace. So you can find the summary on my video called 8 Yokai Spirits Demon Anime that you definitely know. And thank you. Bye bye. Matane.